Hey, good evening. Welcome to the 5Cs. This is Planet Head. Or, as you've probably watched these videos before, unfortunately. Uh, my current character that I'm playing right now is Robert Gould Shaw. Still flying around in my little distribution ship that I got going on here. Um, Hint of the day. Want to hit on that right off the bat, right after we do our quick advertisement. You've seen this before. You're going to see it again because I got to learn to use doing it. The Alexandrian Ring Corporation is recruiting. Um, if you are interested, please feel free to join the in-game channel, The5Cs, or you can email Robert Gould Shaw, the CEO and happy-go-lucky flyer-abouter of HiSec. Alrighty, back to the important stuff. I just want to get that out. Sorry. I'm trying to learn to do that. I'm a horrible. If anybody wants to join and become a recruiter, I will pay. I can't pay you anything. Feel free to join. um, let's get to have some fun. So the reason why I pulled up today's video, the hint of the day, is what just popped up. I've been doing my distribution missions, just flying about, checking out the different parts of Eve, and moving about. And I've got a little bit of a system that I've been doing. It's a little bit cold in here tonight. Maybe I had my air conditioner on for too long. Long story short, I say that too often. Been flying around doing my distribution missions, working on my standings, and been reading a lot. And I think I talked about it in the last video. It's really nice that rather than when you're playing, sometimes you get so ingrained into the numbers and you forget about the lore of the game itself. And the lore has been around for 18 years and grown. So I've been reading a lot of that while I've been flying around, and I've only hit maybe 1% of it. And so it's been really intriguing, and I've been debating about actually semi-role playing. And I'll get to why I've thought about that. But I do this too often. I start to ramble. Hint of the day. Hint of the day is just what happened to me. I completed 16 missions for the Amar Empire. So randomly, I got or not randomly, after 16 missions, you will get it. I got a email from an NPC character who said, "Hey, we'd like you to do something for us. We'd like you to do something for the Amar Civil Service." So I went through, and it's from Soto Imga. And so I started the conversation with them, and they are in Polfoley, okay? Which is only one jump away from where I'm at right now, so let's just take a look at it here. I am currently in Danyana, and so right here, so I just got to fly over to Polfoley and meet with this person to get this mission. And so while I'm on my way there, I will go ahead and look over the mission. And this is the big one for these level 2 missions, especially for new players. Level 2 missions are pretty quick to be able to get into if you do your career missions. Jump. Anytime you do a storyline mission for one of the major factions, just like your career missions, it will increase your faction standing, which affects all the corporations in that faction. And it will affect the allies of that faction. On a negative side, it will negatively affect the people that don't like those factions. Now, not as much, but as you've seen in my prior videos, you have to balance that back and forth. So I'm flying over. This is the Amar. It's the largest empire that's out there. And they have offered for me, if I were to just transport to them some scordite, they will give me this limited ocular filter, which is an implant. I can sell it for sometimes up to 5 million ISK at a level 2. A limited ocular filter is a level 2 implant. Um, some of them are a little bit cheaper than that, especially I think the ocular filter is. But most importantly, as a new player, it's a free implant that you can use to create skills faster for you. So it gives you that daily, even minutely boost. So it's really good to accumulate these. So those are the two real positives for doing this. Uh, the nice part is doing the distribution missions, you'll slowly do these. And so while I've been reading up on my lore of the game, I've been able to just fly around and check out. And as I talked about in the last video, I've been able to scout certain areas and say, hey, do I like this area? Don't I like this area? Is this a place that I want to put a office for the new corporation? I've never been. I don't know if I've ever flown into the region of Corazor, which is where I'm at right now. I'll just show you the universe here. So right here is Corazor. I'm sure I've flown through it, but never paid any attention to it whatsoever. And by doing these distribution missions for all of the different factions, I'm able to check out areas that are there. So here's my mission. Here's what I need to bring. Now, if you notice here, and this is a real time saver, I already have what they need. And how did I do that? Well, level 2 missions always ask for storyline missions. If they're asking you for any type of mineral, or not, I'm sorry, is it mineral? Raw material, they're going to ask for scordite. I did this one other time. I think it was for the Minmatar Republic. They asked for scordite. So what did I do? I took one of my free ventures that I got at the career missions and went out and mined a bunch of scordite. It took me like 15 minutes. And I just carry it in my hold. So when these guys ask for it, I'm like, sure, here you go. I don't have to go buy it. I don't have to go pick it up. I have it right there. So I can finish this mission in a second, but I wanted to show you what happens when you do a career mission. So let's just go ahead and close everything down here. Okay. So the reason why I've been doing the Amar is out of your 4 major factions. There we go. I can fit my finger. I'm always backwards with this. So you've got the Amar, you've got the Minmatar, you've got the Kaldari, and you've got the Galente. Those are your 4 major factions. Now, right now, the Amar are the lowest that I have going on right now. So that's why I was doing them. And remember, they're at 1.44. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is finish this agent. I'm going to go ahead and accept this mission. He's going to say, oh, hey, by the way, you have that in your hold. Can I have that? I'm going to say yes. Bing. Okay. So notice this didn't update. That's because I have to close out my guy and bring it back up here. Now, if you notice, everything changed here. The order. My Kaldari is still at the top. Galente is second. But Amara is now at 1.55. It was at 1.44. And Minmatar is the lowest now. So that's how I can flip back and forth. Now, as long as these are all above 1.0 in standing, I can do every level 2 mission for that faction. So if I can get these above 3.0, I can do level 3 missions. That's how it works. I think it's level, as long as you're above -1, you can do level 1. So, but you want to keep all 4 of them above which ones you're trying to do. The higher level the missions that you run, the more that it will affect your standings as well. So it kind of builds upon itself. So now I need to work on my Minotaur mission. So I'm going to get a move on and get on over there. But before I do so, I'm going to pick up my ocular filter that I just got. See, it's worth 4.230 million ISK. Now, I know for a fact that Mr. Gould's Shaw here does not have any implants loaded in. I am currently not actively skilling him. I'm skilling my other 2 characters on my account. So there's no reason for me to put this filter onto my character. What I'm probably going to do is give it to one of my other 2 characters that I'm playing so they can skill faster. And this is a great, cheap way to scout, raise your standings, and get items that can help all of your characters. Major thing for me right now is the scouting side of it. So let's just take a look real quick. Well, before I do anything, I do know that I want to fly over to Minmatar Space and get started on some missions there so I can bump them up and just keep working that system up and up and up. So let's go ahead and, if I'm not mistaken, I've got all my stations here that have stuff. And Malachar is the place that I was working at. We're not, and that's the number of jumps. So we're 2 jumps away from there. Good, good, good. So it is a far distance away, and this is my first point that I'm going to show here. Do you notice how these 3 here are the career missions for the Amar? And they're not too far away from things. But as soon as I go to another faction, it jumps up to 27 jumps, which is my first thought as to maybe Kor Azar is not where I want to be. There's always little things in behind that keep it. As far as making my first office, I want it to be a central location that I can get to. It's not going to be long term, as I talked about in the last video. It's going to be my first capital, like Philadelphia and New York were for the United States. I'm just looking for that temporary home base. I'm going to probably take another week of flying around, but now I've got to fly all. Time is so much money in this game, especially when you're hauling things. So that is why I'm definitely wanting to not probably have it in Kor Azar. So I'm going to show you the second best part about doing distribution missions while you are, I'm going to go ahead and jump, while you're actually not trying to kill anything. And I'll get back to that here in a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and move this over to my second monitor here. And I'm going to show you the map. There's my map. So this is Kor Azar. We'll back out 1 just to remind you. Now it looks like it's right in the middle of all of the Amar space. But if you notice down here, this is all nullsec space. Solitude here is not easily, you can't get to it very easily. You can't get up here quickly from Kor Azar. You've got to jump around because Genesis is a, it's not nullsec, I don't think. I think it's just NPC-ish type. It's owned by Concord. Oh, it is Amar, so you have a little bit of space to get through there. But it is over to its right, and to try to get to any other parts of the systems here, you do have to travel a long distance. So that's my first negative. There are some positives to it, but that's my first negative, is distance travel, and a lot of times that's 100% of what you're looking for. The second part that I looked at here was a lot of this is low sec, which is fine. If you've watched any of my videos when I first started playing, and I still play, most of my time was spent in low sec or null sec. I enjoy it. My ultimate goal is to get back out there most of the time because I want to build stations and maybe start something out in that area. But for beginning players who are just trying to get started with market trading or um, mining or things like that, um, Corazar right here is about half low sec. And trying to get from like this area here to over here, you have to go all the way up, and then you're running into low sec right here, so there's no way around. Travel space here is not the best. I will give it one bonus though. The Amar distribution missions are the best paying distribution missions out of all of them. I'm not sure about the other types of missions, the security and mining and things like that. I think there's a good chance that it might be better, but I would say at least a third compared to like Minmatar. I think they might pay the worst. They may double the payments than the Minmatar do. I'm not trying to make a ton of money right now, but if you want to go with the Amar, and it's fairly quick over here to get from system to system, especially at level 2. I'll have to keep an eye out for level 3s, but really I've had no issues right here with only having to jump a couple of spots for level 2. So it has been a good spot there. There are some stations in this area. I didn't see a lot of... Whoa. Where am I at over here? Oh, I'm flying through Amar. I'm actually flying through the capital right now. Okay, I've got him over on the side here. This is... you can't see it. I'm just jumping and jumping and jumping. But this is Corazor. This is probably not going to be my first station or my first rental office. But maybe down the road as we figure out what we want to do. So where am I headed off to? Well, I'm headed over to Hematar. So I'm in Corazar right here, and I'm heading in this direction up to Hematar. Now I'll show you the difference between the two. I like Hematar. Why? Because there's just a lot of weirdnesses going on with it. Number one, you have a big trade hub right here. Number one, I just like Minmatar ships. They are ugly, they are dirty, and they're something I would drive around. Where the Amar are just these pretty ships, like my ship that I'm going right now. It looks like a little bug. The Minmatar have ships that look like they might be out of either the Rebels in Star Wars or maybe even like Robotech, something along those lines. So I really like their ships more. But talking about Hematar, why I like it, you've got a bunch of different options here. Number one, you've got a major trade hub in Rennes. You've got a secondary trade hub up here in Heck, not too far away. Fram is actually an interesting little spot. If you want to get into faction warfare, right here is all faction warfare, and faction warfare with a bunch of different jumps to different areas. If you look at it, okay, all of this low sec right here is faction warfare, but you can go to Metropolis, you can go to Sync Liaison, you can go to Devoid, the Bleak Lands, Metropolis again. So really, if you want to go down that road, you've got it, but it's only one part of it here. Over on this side here, you've got a nice little opposite kind of islandy area. All this is low sec. It is not faction warfare. I haven't looked around in here just yet, but that looks interesting to me. And then you've got some connections to a lot of different areas that are in the Minmatar space. You've got Metropolis, a bunch of different jumps in there, bunch of different Molden Heath. You know, you can really just get to a decent amount of stuff for it not being a jam-packed. Like this is a medium-size region to me. Whereas if you come over here, I think it's, let's just take a look at, I think it's, let's look at domain. Yeah, look at domain. They actually had to make the bubbles smaller just to fit all this stuff in here. Are you kidding me? I'm actually flying through domain right now. It's like 3 systems altogether. Now, my personal favorite has always been Malden Heath because it's so quiet. You know, you would think that since there's so few systems that people would be jammed up in here, but 90% of it here is low sec, so that's why people don't mess around with it too much. But so that's me flying, or what I'm looking for. I'm going to check out Himitar. I'm probably thinking there's a very good chance within the next day or so I just pop down a rental office as my Philadelphia. Um, and I want to look around a little bit and do some missioning there. But that's what I want to do with that. Last but not least, I want to see if I have enough time to talk about this. You know what? I don't. It's gameplay style or a way of looking at things that I found myself doing, not in this game, but in most games. I'm going to maybe spend my next video talking about that because it really fits what I'm doing right now. It's how I've played a completely different type of game, but I'm playing both these two types of games. You will never in 100 years guess what I'm about to say, the type of game I play. It's not a kid game. But I played both of them the exact same way, and it dawned on me because I was actually playing it while I was doing distribution missions the other day, and I realized what I was doing, even though it was a completely different style game, that's how I did it. So I'm going to do a video on that next game. Next time I play, or next time I make a video, I'm going to do it on that and focus on that because I think it's a really rewarding way to play. So, but that's pretty much it. Not a long video. I'm going to try to keep them a little bit shorter right now because I know this can get a little bit tedious watching me fly around and talk all the time. I might change my background. I love this background with Rayla just sitting out there on a little thing there, but I might make a new one. I used to have General Maya. Let's maybe I'll do. That's what I could do. I could do my backgrounds of my desktop. Change those to what the video is going to be about. Now this would be a perfect one for this, but if I was to switch over to General Amaya, set as background, I could put her on there when I'm going out there to blow something up. That's what I might do. And I'll just switch them in and out. Hey, that's kind of fun. I'll probably forget it tomorrow. Alrighty, well, you guys have a great night. Fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however the heck you want. And stay alive. Have a good one. Bye-bye.